Today, we've come to this place where if you want to be peaceful, you need a chemical. You want to be joyful, you need a chemical. You want to be healthful, you need a chemical. So, what is the consequence of this? One thing is, in this generation, one thing that's happened in people's minds is, the heaven has collapsed in people's minds. 50 years ago, if I spoke to people and I asked how many of you want to go to heaven, almost 80% would raise their hands. Today, you go to your university and ask them, how many of you want to go to heaven? They'll say, they think it's a ridiculous question. So in their minds, heaven has collapsed, there's no place to go. So they want to do it everything here, all right?
I see.
So they have not found how to be joyful and ecstatic within themselves. So chemical usage, initially it became alcohol, then it became chemicals, it's getting stronger and stronger. It's costing a nation and the world a lot. It's not just in one country, it's going across the world. This whole movement, where it's going means, if you do not raise human consciousness, if you do not teach people how to sit here feeling absolutely blissed out within yourself by your own nature, because this human mechanism is the most sophisticated chemical factory. So essentially, you're a bad manager of your own system, you're not taken charge of this. Why has that happened? Because your education, your society is talking about conquering the world, but never taught you anything about how to take charge of this. If you feel pleasant in your body, we call this health. If you feel very pleasant in your body, we call this pleasure. If you feel pleasant in your mind, we call this peace. If you feel very pleasant, we call this joy. If you feel pleasant in your emotion, we call this love. If you feel very pleasant, we call it compassion. If you feel very pleasant in your very life energies, then we call this blissfulness. If you become very, very pleasant, then we call it ecstasy. If your surroundings become pleasant, we call it success. So, to create pleasantness in the surroundings, we need the cooperation of people and forces around us. Without everybody's cooperation, you can't create a pleasant atmosphere. But pleasantness of the body, pleasantness of the mind, pleasantness of emotion and energy is 100% your business. So if you're feeling ecstatic, you are in heaven. Heaven has collapsed in people's mind, which is a good thing, because…
It's a good thing?
It is, because the idea that this is not the place to live well, there is another place where you will live well, is a wrong idea.
Right.
This is the place to live well.
You can have heaven right here.
Yes.
I think the problem is the term heaven. When you say it, people think of a biblical heaven. They think of a place that you go in the
No, every
clouds.
religion has their own kind of heaven, that's the whole thing. I'm saying before Bible came, there have been heavens in other places.
Yes, yes.
See, people may even have separate heavens to go to, but we all come from the same soil, our bodies go back to the same soil, so this is a unifying factor, irrespective of one's religion, caste, creed, whatever else.
But human beings are very complex. Their emotions are complex, their needs and desires and their trauma and pain and insecurities and all mental health issues. How does one get to that spot? What you're saying sounds wonderful. I mean, you're a guru, you're a literal guru. So when you sit here and tell people these things, they go, well, that sounds easy for that guy. If you're filled with trauma, if you're poorly educated, you're starting from a deficit, a severe deficit where you don't think correctly.
But it's not happening your way right now because it's in a compulsive reactive state.
Okay.
An intelligence which needs to be conscious is unfortunately unconscious and compulsive. So the only problem that you have is compulsive reaction to life around you. What is needed is a conscious response to life. So this simple thing people have not handled from their childhood.
So what do you say to someone, maybe they're 30 years old, and they've had this life of mistakes and regret but they want to be conscious, they want to be blissful, they want to be enlightened, they want to be a happy person, filled with love. What path do they take? What steps do they take?
It's your ability to use tools. You made an arrow, you made a gun.
Yes.
These are all instruments to enhance. We are this much, because of our instruments we become that much. There is one little screw here in this furniture. I will ask you to unscrew this with your hands.
Can't do it.
You do it, you may lose all your nails, I will allow you to use your teeth, maybe you lose some of them. But if I give you a screwdriver, boom,
I can do it easy.
in a minute you'll get it
Yes.
out. So
Right.
this is the power of the tool.
Yes.
So as there are tools for doing things in the external world, there are tools to handle this. Because you don't have a toolkit, you just use the tools. Don't worry about the philosophy, don't worry about belief system, don't worry about your concept, somebody's concepts, your beliefs, somebody's beliefs. Just use the necessary tools. Being peaceful, joyful, loving is a natural outcome of that.